Welcome to the July webinar. This webinar is very specific about some things that we've isolated recently. And if you are here, my guess is you want more new patients. Go ahead and put a hand up if you want more new patients. I want to ask this question. Put a hand up if you're doing paid online ads of any kind, any sort. Okay, good. And I know some of you are doing marketing funnels. This is a very specific approach to paid ads. A marketing funnel is, well, it is a paid ad, but it has a whole filtering process to produce a higher qualified lead. So if your practice are doing any form of a marketing funnel, put your hand in the air. Okay, the stuff we have for this particular group, both marketing funnels and those who are doing paid ads or you're considering doing paid ads, boy, this one's for you. But not just for you. There's some massive things that we have found. We've been digging into offices that are doing fantastic with marketing funnels and fantastic with paid ads. And we've been looking at those that have been doing kind of mediocre and not so well. And those that are just kind of doing average. And what we found was, well, major. So we're going to be covering those things with you, and we've got some amazing content for you so that you know what to do if you want to endeavor going into a paid ad campaign. Some things that you need to think with before you get going. But this is not just with paid ads. The stuff that we have about how do you prepare and make sure that you have a great paid ads campaign, whether Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or a marketing funnel. You've got to have these elements in place regardless. These are elements you have to have in place if you want more new patients. And I'm going to very specifically say this, if you want more quality new patients. We all want new patients. And we're always going to get a certain type of patient that, it's not exactly the fit for the office. That's always going to happen. There's no getting around that. But how do you make sure that you have higher quality new patients? How do you make sure that they arrive when they schedule? How do you make sure they come back to you and you retain these new patients? That's what this is about. Now, I brought up yesterday in kind of not an emergency email, but a last notice email. There was quite some noise these past couple of weeks. Raise your hand if you have seen some noise in the media and just external distractions. Raise your hands if you know what I'm talking about. Listen, there's always going to be noise. There's always going to be things external to your practice. This one was, very specific. There was an attempt on the former, United States president. That's wow. Then on top of that, there was a massive crash of software systems internationally. Something to the tune of 500,000, all related to Microsoft Windows. This has impacted airlines and huge businesses. Raise your hands if your office was impacted by what occurred this last week. Got a couple of you. Sorry to hear that. I'm going to talk to you about external distractions and things that are outside of your control. And that's going to be one of the main points I'm going to start with, whether it's what's going on in politics, what's going on in this noisy trial, what's going on overseas with, some war. These things are outside of our control. So we can, have our own personal views about them, and it's a free country here in the United States and in Canada. So welcome to that. But from a business perspective, what do you do about these things? From a business perspective, how do you outcreate noise that's happening outside of your practice? And why do we need to? Well, we need to because that noise hits our patients, and our patients can be adversely affected by these things. They can be personally distracted and they can be personally involved in these distractions. So our mission is to get our patients healthy. Our mission is to bring about an environment where people who they don't like dentistry, they don't like drills, they don't like needles, their dental appointment isn't their first priority in life. How do we take that person and make sure that they are coming in, they are being examined, they are being talked to about the next step to have healthy teeth and gums and going forward with that treatment? Everything that Blumberg Digital does is creating an environment for you so you know how to better track that individual and get them into your office. Everything that happens in the office is pretty much in and around what MGE covers and what DDS Success covers as far as internal administration. So let's talk about the external perception. I'm going to bring up something that Mr. Hubbard laid out. This might even be the case. I know a number of you have been through this, but, well, raise your hand if you've ever had kind of a crash statistics crash, internal organization noise, somebody key in the office leaves, raise your hand. Right. And we can kind of freak out about all that, right? We got this person who's, taken off. Their husband just got relocated to Idaho. They're a key person. We've got the front desk just disappeared. Not the furniture piece exactly, but the people connected to it. All right. Well, let's talk about some things that Mr. Hubbard says. I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to share my screen. Going to bring this up because this is something that, whether it's external noise or just an emergency situation. So this is covered in the Management Tools and Troubleshooting Executive Seminar. And this particular one comes out of what's called the magic of good management, the magic of good management. It's put in quotes because there is nothing magic about good management. There are exact things to do. And this is covered in points A, B, C, D, E. I'm going to talk about for a second. The dangerous environment. Keep down the danger in the environment by actually winning steadily against it. Don't increase it. Only the merchant of chaos does that. The natterer, the person who's spreading bad news and problems and rumors about people and stuff. The natterer is obsessively selling a dangerous environment, trying to frighten others. Don't increase the danger in the staff member's environment by sudden firings, wholesale staff reductions, etc. It's the manager's job to find work for his staff to do, not reduce the staff to fit the work. Use job security, reassurance, and nice, steady wins. I'm going to say that last part again. Reassurance and nice, steady wins to reduce the danger of the environment. Don't fire or let off permanent staff members. Increase the volume of work to do. The staff, uncertain of its jobs, cowed by raging executives and threats and an apathy of no work. One sweeping firing can wreck a place for a year. One threatening staff meeting can reduce work for weeks. Raise staff tone with raised security, good temper, and wins they know about. And publish the wins so they don't come only on a rumor line. And boot out the chaos merchant whose sole task is selling, quote, dangerous, hopeless environment. Thumbs up if you like that reference and if that just helped. We can all apply that. We can all apply the idea of keeping out anything that is rumor, dangerous noise, tidbits that seem, oh my gosh, this is, bad news. These are the kind of things I want you to concentrate on when there's external noise. What are we going to bring to our team? How do we keep our team focused? How do we keep our patients focused? Put it in the chat right now. Put it in the chat. What are some of the things you could do to follow what Mr. Hubbard just talked about to keep the dangerous environment idea out of the practice? Put it in the chat right now. Confront dangerous behavior. Yeah. When you see it, jump all over it. Love that. Good. Celebrate the wins and ignore the losses. Boy, I love that one, Danielle. I love that one. And how would we celebrate those wins? How would we do what he's talking about here? Raise staff tone with raised security, good temper, and wins they know about. And publish the wins so they don't come only on a rumor line. How would we do that? Love this one. Start off the week with a good story or funny thing. Love that. More games, PJ. Love that one. Encouraging, informative morning huddle. Absolutely, Emily. Make those wins known. That's right, Danielle. Good. Read out reviews in a huddle. I love that one, PJ. Get used to doing this in the morning. In your morning huddle, you should be getting reviews every single day. Every single day, you should be getting reviews. So if you're getting reviews every single day, read out the couple from yesterday that were amazing and make sure your team knows about it. Create games to help with the areas we are struggling in. That's a great one. Think about that. You got an area that you're struggling in. Okay, good. Well, we got to overcome that regardless, just because organizationally we need to overcome that. What if we put a game behind that to bring it up the tone scale a bit? Spot on. We share all reviews, props from staff, and good news in meetings. That's great, Danielle. Good. So that's the first thing. We're going to keep any sort of rumor, discussion about noise. We had this during COVID. There were so many people that were electrified by COVID, and that was electrifying. COVID was electrifying. The shutdown and everything about the pandemic was electrifying. We talked routinely about keeping all that noise out of the practice and talking about, getting healthy, good news, good things, because there was a lot of bad news being spread. So many of our practices said, we picked up so many new patients and retained them because these patients were going to other practices and all it was is danger this, danger that, people dying, this and that. And what were we talking about in our practice? Good news. good news. So get a little internal conspiracy with your team to figure out how to campaign good news, successes, testimonials, spreading positivity. If you agree with the idea of spreading positivity and that being a necessary component to building goodwill with your patients, give me a thumbs up right now. If you feel that that's an important part of your job, give me a thumbs up right now. It absolutely is. Well done. Well done. So that's the first reference. That's the first one I wanted to talk to you about. Second one I'm going to talk to you about comes from the same executive seminar. Now, I know a number of you are on the Power Program, but you might not be at the point that you've done this seminar. So I'm giving you a little glance, some stuff to come. One other thing Mr. Hubbard talks about in this seminar is an article called On Promotion. On Promotion. And I want you to think with the idea that you might have an area that's, not in line. It needs organizational straightening. The communication lines of the organization are not intact. They are not working well. So Mr. Hubbard says, if you try to straighten up communication lines, and the organization in the face of threatened financial disaster, you will always be too late. When financial slumps are in view or forecast, always promote first and fast, ignoring the lines in organizations, and straighten up comm lines in organizations afterward. If you know this and do it, you won't ever have a complete financial disaster. If you tried to straighten up the lines and organization in order to use them to promote, the disaster will be upon you before you have a straight set of lines and an organization. So the result is always a smaller organization if you reverse the correct sequence of action. Organizations that grow smaller have not promoted first and reorganized second. They reorganize first and so can only save themselves by reducing staff. They should have promoted first and then reorganized in the time thus bought. You buy time with promotion, and in that time, you can straighten up the house. Good, so there is a sequence. We got things to sort out. We've got things that are just not ideal. Okay, this could be the case, and we've heard it before at Blumberg Digital. Oh my gosh, I can't start, marketing right now. My front desk is brand new. I need that team to be grooved in, trained, and put on post. Let's talk in about 3 months' time. What's wrong with that picture? Put it in the chat. What's wrong with that picture? I've got new people up at the front. My receptionist is new. I even got a new schedule coordinator. This is a wrong time for us to put in marketing. Let's talk in about 3 months. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Put it in the chat. Yeah. You got to promote first. You got to organize later. That's right. And it's counterintuitive. You're like, well, I'm promoting into a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing and talking about. Well, first of all, promotion is never immediate. Seldom. I wouldn't say never, but promotion is seldom immediate. You do promotional campaign, whether it's a Google Ads campaign or even a postcard, whatever you do, it's going to take a little bit for that to catch, right? So yeah, in that time, what we would call the delay, the comm lag, the communication lag from the time you execute the marketing campaign to the time that it actually starts hitting. Well, that's when we have time to straighten things up. And boy, you better get busy. You better get busy. If you want to come out of a threatened financial disaster, if you want to outcreate external noise, the solution is promote louder. The solution is to promote more. Give me a thumbs up if you understand this point. Again, a bit counterintuitive. You're like, well, everybody's distracted or everybody's got this going on or I don't really know. Okay. Those things you can't control sometimes. Those things you can't control. What you can control is how much you promote. So excellent. You got that. Any questions on this? This would be the time to ask a question. You can either ask it in the chat or you can pipe up. There's so many people here right now. There's just no possible way for me to see your hand being raised, but you're welcome to open up your microphone and say, hey, Dan, I got a question. Hopefully I'll see you. But I really want that you all get this and you know how to play it. Okay, good. A question did come in. What is the point of ads when they don't know how to answer? What is the point of ads when they don't know how to answer? Dr. Jabali, open up your microphone so I can better understand that question.
Can you hear me?
I can. Yeah.
If the front desk is not trained properly, okay, the ads are coming in and their phones are ringing and you're not really, they don't know how to answer the calls and properly being positive and blah, blah. And that's it. They hang up, the people hang up and your money is wasted.
Yeah, good. So I love this question. And How many of you would like my amazing three magic bullet answer? Raise your hand if you'd like my 3 magic bullets on how to fix this one. First thing, there will always be waste, period. Nobody's perfect. Times aren't perfect. Even with the perfect team, they have to use the restroom now and again and take a lunch, and they have vacations and stuff like that. So there will always be waste. What we're trying to do is mitigate the waste. We're trying to mitigate the amount of waste, right? So this could have been handled better. This person could have been trained more. Okay, the way we decrease waste is we increase training and we make sure that we are properly organized so that we're properly covered, right? Having one person up at the front to handle the schedule, handle their phones, handle all new patient, coordination, that person's set up for a loss. There's no way that one person can do all that, all the insurance and all that. There's no way for one person to easily and properly deal with that. But if that's what you got, that's what you got. There's going to be higher waste, but we don't stop promoting. We don't stop promoting. What do? We properly train. We properly org board, right? We put in the organizing board. We put more people there. We figure out what jobs is this person doing. We separate these jobs by hats. Okay, good. So this is the receptionist hat. She's wearing that hat. And she's wearing the schedule coordinator hat. And she's wearing the insurance coordinator hat. And she's wearing the new patient coordinator hat. And maybe even a couple others. We separate those separate hats and we go, okay, good. Well, when she's answering the phone, she's putting on the receptionist hat. Good. Then it's a new patient call. So she's taking that hat off and she put on the new patient coordinator hat. Good. Well, eventually we're going to find out what is the busiest and what's the most valuable and what's she best at and what's she soft at. We get somebody else up there and we split those 4 hats into 2 hats each or whatever. And that's org boarding. That's the organizing board. And that's organization. While we train her and then these 2 people to mitigate that waste, reduce the waste. Guess what, though? We promote bigger and harder. There's always going to be waste. Always going to be waste. But somehow she's going to luck into getting some patients scheduled. And you might say, well, that's expensive. Yes, it is. That's why the second bullet here, get busy. Get very busy. Put them on a training program of 2.5 hours a day minimum. Figure out how to cover the front while they're doing that training. You yourself get in there with your own 2 hands. Doctors and office managers even. How many of you have been there at the office late nights? Raise your hands. You've been there late nights. Part of the job. I hate to say that. I don't like it. I don't like it. Well, actually, I think I kind of do. I'm kind of, my team knows I'm a bit of a workaholic. It's kind of a thing. But listen, you don't have to be that. But there are going to be times where you got to go put out a fire. Guess what? Grab a fire hose, grab a fire extinguisher. It is time. This is not time to fluff up the pillows and make sure the sheets are all perfect. No, the house is on fire, man. The house is on fire. Grab a fire extinguisher, grab a fire hose, get busy. That is a 5-alarm fire when you've got, a front or a team or a key area that has just been blown apart. This is not business as usual. So that's the second bullet. Thumbs up if you understand the second bullet. Third bullet. Keep it light. It's a game. Do your best. Don't get too serious. It's a job. It's a current scene. It's a current situation. It's not the end of the world. I mean, there's waste. There's certainly waste, and it's not ideal. But some of us can get so sunk into the problems and so sunk into the drama, so sunk into all that's bad that you forget all that's good. Guess what's good? First of all, dentists, you made it through dental school. That's a hell of a thing. Not a lot of people do. And you did. Give yourself a pat on the back. Hey, now look at this. You got an office. That's also a hell of a thing. Hey, you also have a team. It might not be perfect, but let's put things into perspective. This goes back to Seminar A of the MGE Communication and Sales Workshops. Insouciance, spirit of play, flippancy. These are all spirit of play, keeping it light. Insouciance, not getting too serious. Flippancy, keeping some levity during times that would normally be stressful to others. What is the end product of worry? What's the past tense of worry? Just answer that question. What's the past tense of worrying? Having worried. Period. So turn that energy into effective motion. Obviously, a little easier said than done, right? I can sit here smugly and say, well, you just need to be a little bit less serious about things and lighten it up a little bit and Smile a little bit more. Sure, I could say that. And there you sit with nobody sitting at the front, and you got your assistant, your top assistant answering phones at the front. And you're like, Dan, literally, you're telling me to smile right now? Well, I do want you to know this. This too shall pass. Everybody, even though you're muted, repeat after me. This too shall pass. Over to you. Oh, I want to see your lips moving. I want to see your lips moving. I'm going to do it again. This too shall pass. Your turn. Yeah, the bad times. This too shall pass. Oh, yeah. And the amazing months where you did unbelievable highest ever. Guess what? This too shall pass, and you got next month coming. I just want you to put things into perspective. It's, we can get all wound up about things and freak out and bounce off the walls and stuff. But come on. We are looking for long-term trends. We are looking for expansion. Where did we start? Where are we today? Where were we at the beginning of the year? Where are we now? Where were we 3 years ago? Where are we this year? So thumbs up if you understand that. Put it in perspective, keep it light, insouciant spirit of play, have some fun. All right, let's see what's coming in. I see the chat's been busy, but I haven't been looking at it. This too shall pass. Good, boo. All right, Dr. Carter, good to see you. Yeah, and I love this. John from our team, he's one of our execs at Blumberg Digital. Get more new patients in than what you lose. Anyway, they will see you, get to know you, and you will be in their mind in the digital rankings. What John just said is so important. Just get out there and promote and do a better job that you did yesterday, if possible. Do a better job today than you did yesterday. How do you effectively reorganize when you're busy from the promotion and the team feels overwhelmed? Great question, Dr. DeMarco. Well, you are on your power program with MGE, and you are now putting in your org board, you're putting in your training. You, myself, Janelle, we're doing that little special project. Order goes in time. And we're kind of off marketing, but I do want to put this into perspective. The basic condition of life and this universe is chaos. There's disorder. And what are we? We are the people that come in and put in order. Sometimes we do it better than others. Sometimes we do it worse than others. Sometimes we do it better ourselves. And sometimes we aren't really on our game. But what are we doing? We're solving problems nonstop. What your focus is to figure out what's the right problem to solve. Sometimes problems are manifest as symptoms rather than the underlying reason why. We call it the why. You have a why, and then you have the symptoms. And if we go around handling the symptoms, but we never get to the underlying why, well, then you're going to feel exhausted at the end of the day, week, month, year. And that is because you didn't get down to the bottom of what is the core cause of things. The core cause of things, and that's all covered in the org board and team building seminar at MGE. Gosh, I feel like this is an MGE commercial. But I'm giving you all, because you're practice owners, an idea of putting in order. It all comes about by being and creating stable terminals. Being and creating stable terminals. If we take a look, I know a number of you here. I see Kathleen, who's on this, and I don't know if Beth is on this. So Kathleen, open up your microphone.
Hi.
Good. How stable were you when you got hired by the Salvatores and got brought into their office? How stable were you as a dental staff member?
Negative 20%.
Negative.
So
yeah.
I was in such fear that the first week that I worked here, Dr. Vera sat me down and said, "Do you actually want to be here?" And I was like, "I don't know. I think so. Maybe." But it's been a year, so now we're doing good.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
okay,
it was
good.
bad.
So take a look. So that's where she started, having, come from, Panera Bread. I think that was your job right before.
Yeah.
You were in Panera?
Yes. Yeah.
And now she's one of the junior office managers of Salvatore Dental. She's through the Power Program. And, we just got done with a conference call, her and Beth. They're the two junior managers. One handles the front, one handles the clinical back. And we talked about, how are we going to make sure that our $575,000 this month is secure, and a little analysis of any changes from an earlier hire period and such. How do you get there? Man, that didn't happen overnight. Progress, not perfection. Progress, not perfection. Slow and steady is going to win this race. Dr. DeMarco, you guys just keep at it while you're building, and you're looking for people like Kathleen and others that are falling into the categories of uptone, willing, can be trained. Uptone, willing, can be trained. Those three factors. They don't necessarily have to have a bunch of dental experience. They are uptone. They're up the tone scale. They're positive. They're interested. They're willing. They don't say, oh, it can't be done. Oh, it can't be done. Oh, but that's a problem. That's unwilling. They're willing and they can be trained. You got those three component factors and build with MGE. I mean, they've got a bunch of power program completions at Salvatore Dental. You just got to get there. So thumbs up if this advice is helpful. Okay, now I do need more cameras on because I'm seeing very few of you, and I know a lot of you are there. So I know some of you don't have camera, or you say you don't. All right, but listen, if you got a camera, please turn on your camera. I just like to see your faces. All right, so now let's get back to marketing. What tool do I have for you? Boy, I got you a special tool. How many of you would like to increase your patient, I don't know, their ability to follow your directions? How many of you would like to get your patients to follow your directions more and go forward with their treatment and such? Well, marketing is to get them in the door, but once they're in the door, man, it's over to you and the team. And what we just did at Blumberg Digital is, you know, there was a time where we said, well, you got to educate your patients on the studies connected to people who are healthy, right? People with healthy teeth and gums live on average how many years? Put it in the chat. Put in the chat. The studies, the independent studies done. People who have healthy teeth and gums and all their teeth, right? Or keep their teeth in their mouth are going to live how many more years? Right. Dr. Carter, right. Yep. 7 to 10 years is what the studies show. People with unhealthy teeth and gums are more susceptible to what systemic conditions? Put that in the chat right now. Put that in the chat right now. What different things are they more susceptible, more highly predisposed to being affected by? Diabetes, good, Danielle. What else? Keep it going, folks. You know this. You're clinical. I'm not. You should know this better than me. Diabetes, heart disease, heart attacks. Keep it going. What else? You guys need to know this. There's studies that show that people who have unhealthy teeth and gums, outstanding bacteria and decay in their mouth, are more susceptible to what physical systemic condition? Heart attacks, right, Dr. Carter? Keep it going, guys. Yeah, you know, you're supposed to be impressing me right now. Let's go. Good stroke. Right, Dr. Lazaga. Spot on. Good. Well, you can have that discussion, and you should have that discussion with all of your patients when they're like, yeah, but I really need to do this. And, you know, there's this designer bag that we're looking at, and we're planning our vacation. We got a cruise coming up, and I got a hole in my roof, or, you know, my transmission's making a funny noise. Good. All those things you need to do. Most definitely all those things, except for the designer bag. Just kidding, girls. But you get it. Like, I want that patient to have everything they need and want in life to proceed. But all of those things happen because they are there and they are healthy. If they are unhealthy, think about it. When was the last time you were sick, and how'd you feel about life at that time? You weren't thinking about going on vacation. You weren't thinking about going and driving your car. You felt like sleeping in bed. That's what you felt like. So life all emanates from that individual and their ability to be there in life. So your job, once they're in the practice, is to educate them on these points. And I told you about this, and then I gave you some of the links to all the studies around the internet about, you know, this one talks about this one and this one talked about that one. But then it was a pain in the butt to get those studies and print those studies and then have those available in your practice. Well, guess what? We got it all for you. We not only have it all for you, but we have it all for you illustrated with pictures, excerpts, and links to each study. Yeah, I love that too. Dr. Carter, Parkinson's, right? Larissa, dementia, Alzheimer's, totally misspelled that. That's totally fine. Yeah, who knows how to spell Alzheimer's? Okay, good. So let's take a look at this special guide that Blumberg Digital has just put together for you. All for you, absolutely for free. All you need to do is make sure we have your contact details. So, patient guide to oral health. This is for you to have available when your patient says, yeah, I think I want to think about it. I want to talk to my spouse. I'm not really interested in going forward. We got a vacation coming up. Good. Maintaining optimal oral health is not just about having a bright smile. It's a crucial component for your overall well-being. So to navigate this digital document, just click on the table of contents, the item you want to explore, and you just have them click on it. You know, all of these different points: kidney disease, hypertension, dementia, obesity, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, stroke, cancer, poor oral health linked to liver cancer, oral cancer and dental health. How can we prevent and detect oral cancer? Adverse pregnancy outcomes, pregnancy complications, Oral health and the common cold, the flu, and even COVID, gum disease, summaries, heart disease, tooth loss and heart disease, endocarditis, impact of oral health, all of this stuff. You just have them click on these or you click on it and it goes straight there. But let's take a look at what it is. General health and oral hygiene, longevity and oral health. Research shows that there is a significant correlation between the number of teeth and the lifespan of the person. Individuals with more teeth at age 70 tend to live longer than those with fewer teeth. Studies show people with healthy teeth and gums live 7 to 10 years longer, and there's a link to the study. You just click that and it takes you straight to the study. So increase your lifespan, systemic conditions linked to oral health. And it goes over periodontal disease in the 5 stages: healthy gums, gingivitis, early periodontitis, moderate to advanced periodontitis, and tooth loss. Gum disease, summary, heart disease, tooth loss and heart disease. Thumbs up if you're liking what you're seeing. Raise your hand if you want it. Okay, if you want it, you better put it in the chat. I'll be your best friend for a day, Dan. Put it in the chat. I'll be your best friend for a day if you give me the links. Okay, kidney disease, hypertension, dementia, obesity, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, stroke, cancer. Alexis is the only one who says she's going to be my best friend for a day. Okay. Oh, best friend for a year, boo. Okay, you got it. Poor oral health linked to liver cancer, oral cancer, and dental health. I mean, adverse pregnancy outcomes, pregnancy complications. I mean, this is premature birth. This thing's hard sell. This is hard sell. And we want you to have it. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in a link here. You have to fill out a little bit of information about your practice and such. You got to click that, and then you're going to get an email with the guide attached, or at least click the link it. So
it should all work.
So that's the
put
first
it in the
one.
chat if it doesn't work, but you should all get a download.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, put it in the chat. Should get the download. But yeah, I'll tell you, the document it's really clever in that I just click this stroke, I click stroke, and it takes me straight there. Did you all see that? Pretty slick. Pretty slick. Anyways, it's a version for you that is something that you can show patients on an iPad, or bring it up on the computer. So thumbs up if you like that, if you think that's helpful and you're happy we did that. Thumbs up, please. Good. So that's the first step, education of your patients and being hard sell. This is so important that we want our patients to live long, healthy lives. How many of you actually care about people and you like your job? You like your job and you like caring for people and you like the fact that you're restoring them to better health, right? So this is part of it. Now it's important for you to get them to that same reality. And we've created this. We put some hard-hitting images in there, huh? Like it's going to hit home. It's going to hit home. You just got to have that. But that's not so much marketing. Necessary for when they come in so that your marketing is actually finding the traction, right? You don't want to just get people in and then they walk out the back. What's the point? Let's get to the analysis points. What I'm about to tell you is the most important thing you need to hear about new patient marketing. I'm not going to mince my words. What I do need from you is, Dan, I want the real deal. I want it between the eyes, and it might come a bit as a slap. That's a thumbs up. Or Dan, be soft on me. I want the candy-coated version. Thumbs down. I want to see your thumbs. No sugarcoating. We sat down with Sabri Blumberg at MGE, and that was Britt, our new fearless leader, Michael, who is our practice expansion specialist. He joined Blumberg Digital just this last month. Michael Bach, massive experience in market research. Literally his company, he started survey.com. For all of you who know survey.com, Michael is the guy who started that. Michael was the original guy who started MasterTech, management by stats software back in, the 80s and 90s. Michael's been around for a long time. He's just joined Blumberg Digital, and he is a practice expansion specialist. Britt, myself, and Michael sat with Sabri. We had a high-level conversation about marketing. Like, Sabri, we are getting down to the brass tacks about where marketing fails. We're creating documentation and a system for people Let's talk about that. The first thing out of Sabri's mouth, Dan, Michael, Britt, I want you all to get this. We find this at MG all the time. A person says, I've hired a marketing company. Good, marketing's done. I hired this company to do postcards. Where are all my new patients? I hired this company to do X, Y, or Z. Where are all my new patients? She said, Dan, Michael, Britt, wrong viewpoint. No, you have hired a company to assist you in your marketing hat. It is your practice. These are your responsibility. New patients are your responsibility. Now, listen, I'm not saying this because I'm trying to absolve Blumberg Digital of any responsibility for our job and function to bring you new patients. Of course I'm not. But I want you all to have the right viewpoint. Your viewpoint is new patients belong to you. If you're not getting them, you need to figure out why. Now, in conjunction with your marketing efforts and your marketing teams. I know a number of you have many marketing teams. But I just had a conversation with, Kathleen at Salvatore Dental and Beth at Salvatore Dental. And, there's one marketing provider that they are kicking the butt of, and they are being ruthless about it. And that's what they need to be doing. So listen, if Blumberg Digital ever needs a kick in the butt, well, then you do that. Trust me, we're here to receive that as needed. Fortunately, that's not a common occurrence. But it is your job. And part of that job, the first step of any marketing campaign is make sure you have someone held responsible for the job of marketing. Now, I'm going to say that again. Make sure you have someone in the practice who understands marketing falls under them. The job, responsibility, function, or task that belongs to everyone belongs to, complete the sentence in the chat. Complete the sentence. The job, function, responsibility, or task that belongs to everyone belongs to no one. Spot on. For those of you who've been cruising along saying, well, listen, marketing, it's held pretty well by our office manager, or this person does it pretty good, and that's a secondary job of them. Well, okay, good. Well, I'm glad to hear that you have assigned it at least to a person. It might be a double hat, right? They're double hatted, right? They got the primary job and this job as well. Or that is their primary job and they have another function. Okay, at least they know I am the marketing person. I am the new patient coordinator. I am the PR marketing person. At least you have somebody who's saying, I am the. Good. For those of you who have not done that, that is your next action. Literally after this webinar ends, you say, that's our new patient coordinator. I don't care if it's a double hat. I don't care if it's going to fall as yet another hat. Somebody's holding 2, 3, or 4 already. It's got to be held by someone. It's got to be held by someone. Thumbs up if you understand that. It's a tough pill to swallow because you're like, I don't have time to put somebody on post. Good. Employ us to help you with that. That's what my team does. Blumberg Digital is here to help your team understand what to do exactly. We'll work. They can attend these webinars. They can go to the MGE New Patient Workshop. They can do the the marketing hat at MGE. They could do the DDS success training with a marketing course. I mean, there's tons of stuff. There's tons of resources to train that person so that you, office manager, you, doctor, don't necessarily need to spend your valuable hours doing so. But boy, you better get it done. You better get it done. You better get that person on post and you better make sure they know what to do. Don't just hire someone to know, job done. Now they don't know what they're doing and we lose that person because they're not well grooved in and they're not being utilized. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take the time. This is roll up the sleeve time. Roll up the sleeve time. Burn the midnight oil time, possibly. Get things ready. Now, we got tons of resources for that person, but you must have that person. There must be a person. And I'm going to call it your new patient coordinator. Where do we cover all this? Well, we cover this in another guide we've just done. First of all, how many of you would like to add 30 additional new patients per month right now? Raise your hand. You want 30 additional new patients right now, this month. Good. I'm not kidding you when I tell you it's right here. I'm not kidding you. If you just read and do this guide, it's right here. So this guide, talk with Sabri. We went into it. Okay, unique patient base and marketing potential. On average, 75% of patients in a dental database are unique individuals, not family units, meaning there is only one address in your computer software for that patient. If there were 3 addresses connected to 3 different patients, That's probably a family unit. Please give me a thumbs up if you understand the logic in that, what unique and shared address means. Okay, so you've got 3 addresses in your database from 3 different patients. That means that's probably a family. You've got 1 that's unique. All right, 75%, these are studies, 75% of patients in the average dental database are unique individuals, not family units. To put this into perspective, 75% of your database probably right now is a 1 person of a household. 1 person of a household. The average household has 3 people in it. You have 1 person of that household. I need a thumbs up that you understand that. You have 1 of probably 3 people. Thumbs up if you understand that. Okay, good. So 25% of the people in your database have a shared address. 75% don't. Now, watch this statistic. 60%. Additionally, a significant portion of the population is still untapped by dental practices. According to Sabria's study done shows 60% of people in the United States do not have a regular dentist. This represents a massive opportunity. So of people surveyed, 40% said, yeah, I've got a regular dentist. 60% said, nope, I don't have a regular dentist. That's a huge potential. So where do we start? Hey, who in your household or what immediate friends or family in the area here? You could go there, but just starting with who's in your household. And then knowing that 60% of people surveyed said, no, I don't have a regular dentist. So we're going into patient referrals and internal marketing. You've got to go there. Look at this. If a practice sees 18 patients a day, 10 by the dentist and 8 by the hygienist, and 75% of these are unique individuals, that's 13.5 unique patients per day. Each of these patients on average has 2 other family members. Multiplying 13.5 unique patients by 2 gives 27 possible referrals every single day. Considering that 60% of people don't have a regular dentist, that's 16 potential new patients each day. So, okay, good. So maybe of those 27 people, some of those other family members, well, they've got a dentist. 40% of them will, but 60% of them won't. That's 16 potential new patients every single day. So we give you action steps of exactly what to do. Okay. And some ideas, how to focus on it, some links to exact courses and such. Raise your hand if you would like this guide. Raise your hand if you would like this guide. Good. We're going to put that guide in here. All right, there's that guide. I'll tell you, this is gold. The content of these guides is gold. And this 3rd guide is, I'd say it's the icing on the cake, except it's not. It's its own vastly impactful guide. Now, this one is thick. This is the analysis. This was put together by Augustina, John, Britt, data from Sabri, data with Michael, myself, Desiree, our specialist on all this, key account managers, lots of different, and these are our top clients who have given feedback on this. So what you're about to get is, I would say, no less than 400 hours of research and documentation. Get yourself ready for this. Whether you're doing paid ads or not, doing a marketing funnel or not, considering paid ads or not, considering a marketing funnel or not, certainly if you're doing paid ads, a marketing funnel, or you're considering, you definitely need to go through this and read this. But even if you're not, you need to go through this guide, because this guide has so much data about what makes marketing go boom. This guide is called Top Dental Marketing Mistakes with Paid Online Ads. So we go through, there's a table of contents. Just look at the table of contents. You'll understand how vast this thing is. And number of pages, 32 pages of this guide. Importance of a new patient coordinator or a single employee dedicated to lead management. It is the first action. Raise your hand if you want more new patients. Raise your hand if you want more new patients, everybody. Raise your hand if you want more new patients. Good, that's the first thing you're going to do. If you don't have a designated new patient coordinator, that's the first thing you're doing after this webinar. You are assigning a person. Even on the earlier guide on referrals. Yeah, who's going to do that? Well, yeah, you're going to have your hygienist help out because she's great with her patients. You're going to have your assistant because everybody loves your assistant. But the office manager, she's so awesome. Of course, she's awesome because she's the office manager. And the dentist, of course, all of those people can be involved and should be involved in every single, patient experience and such. But who is the person who's got their finger on the pulse of who's going to see that patient and ask them for referrals? Who's going to see that patient and make sure we get a review? Who's going to see that patient and do the testimonial video? It's your new patient coordinator. They are coordinating these. They are not necessarily doing everything, but they are coordinating to see that it gets done. Who's the single point of contact? Who's accountable for this? And what processes are they going to learn and be responsible for? So we give you the solution. There's a bunch of different things on tracking leads, how to monitor what's being done with the marketing, ensuring consistent follow-up. Now, I'm only going to tell you this. Augustina, she's our head of delivery. She's our boss over all the account managers. And this is her section. And she went through this with a fine-tooth comb. Awesome. And she and John make this incredible team. John is over our quality control. Augustina is over all the delivery. I've gone through all this data. It's fantastic, the detail here. But let's talk about asset creation. If you're looking at doing ads, you must have good reviews, before and after photos, testimonials. And then, of course, these are links. Kathleen, I've used our video here where we do a little example of how to do a testimonial video. Here's how to get 15 reviews every week. And then, of course, how Salvatore Dental gets, 15 to 20 reviews every single week. So all of these assets, how to acquire these assets and get these assets and samples of assets. Other assets include, doctor, you are having, you're doing videos. I know we've got a bunch of you who've done some videos. We've got Dr. DeMarco and Janelle. They've really endeavored into doing videos. Raise your hand, folks, if you've done some videos about answering common dental questions. Raise your hands if you've done, answer. Yeah, good on you, everybody who's doing that. You got to do more of it because these videos are fantastic and your patients love them. So we have all the solutions. Obviously, you have to talk about budgets. If you're doing a paid ad campaign or an implant funnel, you got to have a realistic budget. You can't say, well, I want to spend $1,000 and get, 30 Invisalign cases. It's just unreal. But what would be examples of a good budget? Go through that. So then once you get the ads hitting, you better have a sales process of how to actually see that person and how to talk to that person. And what are the steps that need to be in place when they come into the practice? What would be an example of how to manage a phone call on a high valued lead? This is an example of that. And then exact steps to do. So Britt, could we drop the link for that?
Yes, sir.
Maybe you have already. Good. And there's just a ton of stuff. Listen, you might not know a ton about marketing, but I'm going to make sure that you understand the basic necessities to carry on successful marketing actions. So what do you folks think? Do you like what we've been working on? Fantastic. Good. Now, in addition to what you see here, this is about, about 100 pages of 450 pages of content that we've got, including videos, scripts, samples, and such. We are working on these processes. Why? It's to educate you, to make your job easier. You want to help people. You want to make sure that people know about you, know about what services you have, know what your skills are, know of your successes, come in confidently, know that you're the right one to have chosen, and then go forward with their treatment. Our job is to make your job easier because your job means people are getting healthier and they're living a longer life. So with that, we are dead on for 1 hour. From here, this next half hour is bonus content. So I would like to know first, does anybody have any questions about what we've covered? Would like to ask me specific questions? Because the bonus content is going to go into both frequently asked questions, question and answer period, and then some stuff we want to show you. So opening it up here. Let's open up the door to any questions you have that are topical. And what we do here for this question and answer period is we don't only answer the questions ourselves, but we have other attendees who are running into that same problem and they're overcoming those problems themselves personally. We have them jump in and give some advice on those points. So who's got the first question? Put it in the chat. And if you don't come in with questions, then I got a bunch of other content I'm going to be showing you. Okay, what do you do when you can't provide speed of service? So you have a schedule several weeks out and working towards opening up space. Gotcha. All right, that's a biggie. That's a biggie. Speed of service is so important, especially in dentistry. If somebody calls you, says, yeah, I just moved to the area, looking for a new dentist, and you say, absolutely, let's get you in here. Our first appointment is going to be in November of 2026. What's that person? Nah, listen, I'm being a bit exaggerative, but even if it's a few weeks out, that person may say thank you. They may even reserve with you, and then they go down the next series of practices that they found on Google. So at that point, you got to know that this is a time to escalate this to the office manager and the owners and say, this is a problem we're having. There could be one of two problems. One, your scheduling is a bit off. And so I would look at the scheduling for productivity video on DDS Success, check in with your power client manager at MGE, say, this is what's going on, KM, look at our schedule. I don't know if there's something we're doing wrong or how we could better position this. The other thing that you need to work on is resolving the flow. Now, if your flow is restricted because of space and there's just no more places to put people, well, then you got to entertain how do you want to solve that problem? Obviously, going second shift and extending hours and opening up days and that sort of thing is a possibility, but that's quite an endeavor. Punching out a wall or two and taking a really huge op and making it 2 ops. This is what some of our clients end up doing. If it's not a space thing and it's a personnel thing, you don't have enough hygienists, you don't have enough assistants, or you don't have enough doctors, then that's where it's time. You are bumping into expansion, growing pains. And these are great problems, but boy, they're problems. If you constrict the flow, what happens when you put, a fish in too small of a fish tank? It grows to the size of the fish tank. You put that fish in a bigger fish tank, man, that fish grows bigger. Same with your practice. If something's constricting expansion, whether because of space, personnel, or procedures, like you just don't know how to organize it, you're going to stay small, never going to expand beyond that. So you've got to train, organize, inspect, all for the first point of organization and checking your schedule, make sure you're optimized. Second, optimize your space. Third, make sure that you have, if your space is plenty of space, but you just don't have the people for it, you got to man up. All those things are very easy for me to say. Very easy for me to say. Not necessarily easy to do. But the first step is check in with your power client manager, check into the training on scheduling for productivity, check into your schedule and see, you might have a bunch of spots taken, but you got a bunch of holes because your reconfirmation process is out or there's a lot of no-shows or cancellations. That's waste, man. That is waste. So you got your short list, figure out how to get your short list to get these people called in while you figure out why your no-shows and reconfirmation process is down. So that's that one. Real long answer to a very short question, but it's a good one. Okay. So if you're just out of school and in debt, what medium do you pick for first marketing? Tight budget available for marketing. Well, Dr. Carter, you are in touch with our specialist and we're working out an exact program for you. Reason why I wouldn't commit to answering that here and now is that every individual is going to have a different set of circumstances based off of where you are, how populated it is with other practice opportunities, right? Like how competitive it is, what your specialty is, what you want to do, what your constraints are. So that's an individual question. That's like asking how long is a piece of string? There's so many answers based off all the variables. So what we want to do is get you connected. And I know that process is happening. So Dr. Carter, you're in good hands there. Okay, any tips on how to get people to want to donate? Earlier this month, we sponsored an animal shelter and I posted it on social media. I made multiple posts as well. A lot of my TMs donated, but not many patients contributed. I even made a big poster to draw attention in the office. How do I get people to want to get involved and help the community? Okay, Larissa, I love that. Here's the problem when you're asking for donations. Your community involvement is you donating. It's you donating. You, the practice, not you specifically, Larissa. It's you doing a campaign and getting your community behind it by highlighting it on social media, by spreading the word. Hey, click this and share this to 5 people. Let's get Poppy adopted. You got Poppy the puppy, right? We're trying to get Poppy adopted. You got a before and after photo of Poppy before her grooming and after her grooming. And let's share this around to get Poppy adopted. You're paying for the grooming. You're paying for the campaign. It's generally negligible. I mean, you're going to spend a few $100, maybe $1,000 Watch what happens. Your community will go on fire around that. You see, your community is getting behind you, getting behind the campaign. It's not you facilitating getting your community to pay for that campaign. Little difference there. That's what I would recommend, Larissa. Does that help? Does that make sense? Asking people for money, you got to have a certain level of commitment. Asking them to share and participate and upvote you, even if they don't share, but they just say, oh, look at that. They're getting Poppy. I want Poppy to be adopted. Oh, look at cute little Poppy. Oh, let's get Poppy adopted. They feel better about you because you're doing something really cool. Everybody thumbs up if you understand that. What's a good way to initiate a Google review? Oh, boy, I love this one. Okay, Kathleen, light up that microphone.
Hi.
Live demo. Good.
So,
go ahead.
No, you're good.
Well, I was thinking what we do is you could give a little brief overview. And you remember the video we did? I can put the link to the video here for everybody to have that video, because that was a great video. And then I could be a patient and, we could just pretend, but maybe give everybody an overview on how you get Google reviews. Because what are you guys up to? Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all what Salvatore Dental is up to. So if I go to their Google business, you guys can tell me if you see this. Do you see my screen? Okay,
yes.
Good. Look at the before and after photo. You can select that photo. That is called the profile photo. You can select your profile photo for Google Business. You can't choose the order in which what other photos come up. But you can select that one. It's called the key photo or the profile photo for your Google Business. So they've got that one, shows exactly what they can do. 1,247 Google reviews. I can click those Google reviews. I can search by newest. 3 hours ago, 20 hours ago, 3 days ago, 3 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, 6 days ago, 6 days ago. And yes, you will get negative reviews. That's going to happen. So the way to handle negative reviews is drown out the negative. First, you got to answer them, drown out the negative with positive. But look at it. They've got 1,247 at 4.9 stars, which is the ideal rating. 35% of people don't trust a business that doesn't have a negative review, just so you know, because everybody on planet Earth knows that nobody's perfect. Everybody on planet Earth knows. So they don't see a little bit of sign of life. They think it's staged. At least 35% of people won't even trust a business. So Kathleen, take it away. Tell me a little bit about your systems. Well, not tell me, tell everybody here.
Yeah. So our system is every month, Beth and I sit down and we pick a prize for our patients. We've done AirPods. We did tickets to the ballet. What else have we done? We do whitening.
Free whitening.
Mm-hmm. So then we tell our team and they really run with it. But then we also incentivize our team. So Beth has a bag full of poker chips that have dollar amounts on it. And then we play like daily games where it's like first person to 3 reviews. We have like punch cards that have like 5 free coffees on us. So they can win punch cards. People love coffee. So we do that with our team. And then we just really encourage them to ask them in the chair. We actually changed our Wi-Fi password recently because patients were constantly connecting to our Wi-Fi. So all of our reviews were disappearing. Yep. So that was something that we were really struggling with. You guys helped us save a couple of them. They were able to come back, but we changed the password. But we're really big into asking in the chair because people are going to forget when they walk out the door. So we have these quick sheets that have QR codes. So our hygienists are amazing at asking in the chair. We have one hygienist, Judy. She will not let a patient leave without doing that review. But it's basically making it like less of a pressure situation. So you ask them, how was your cleaning today? They say, good. That opens the door. They say, whatever. They are able to kind of let us know first verbally. And then we're like, would you mind sharing that with other patients? Because there's so many people who are scared of coming to the dentist and you could really help them. Like people want to help other people. So if you put that kind of point to it, people are going to want to help other people.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So just so you all know, Kathleen and Beth right there are the two, I'm just going to say it, they are the force to reckon with. I mean, for Salvatore Dental, they hit the numbers because these two are both Power Program trained. They are both Power Program graduates. They've recently been, awarded the Wall of Fame at MGE. Posters
yes,
yet
we
still
can't wait to see our posters.
Guys, so sorry. Yeah, me too. But the posters are going up. So they're hitting the Wall of Fame for office managers. Now, neither of them had dental experience before becoming employees at Salvatore Dental. Both of them are now leading this practice to, their floor, their average is $575,000 a month. Okay. So now it's a big practice. It's a 10 operatory practice. It's got kind of 2.5 doctors. So, it's not a small operation, but I want first, Kathleen and Beth, if you guys could talk about what do you do in the morning to prepare for Google reviews? Let's do the short version, Kathleen, because we've done the long version, right? Of like, your morning production meeting and huddle and stuff like that. I don't want to overwhelm everybody here, but talk a little bit about, if you wouldn't mind, a little bit about what you guys do in the morning to prepare. And then we're going to roll straight into, I'm going to be the patient. You're going to ask me for a review. Okay. And where?
Basically, Beth is in charge of setting our review goal for the week. We typically try and do 20, if not more. But then we make it a point in our morning meeting to talk about our review goal, how many we need to hit it. But then we also read all of our reviews in the morning meeting. And I feel like that really encourages people because as they're reading it, it's like yesterday, Beth got a review. So she was very excited. She was like, my name's in a review. So we're reading it and then everyone's looking at it like, yeah, Betty, like it makes it so the team acknowledges everybody around them because, they're like, oh, Judy did a great cleaning. Then everyone's like, yeah, Judy. So that like builds everyone up and it makes them also want to get that feeling too, right? They want their name mentioned in a review. They want them to be able to share because patients call now and they're like, hey, I saw these reviews about Judy. I want to be scheduled with her. So we really make a big deal out of reviews because it is a big deal. Yeah. That's how our patients hear about us. Huge. It's huge. A lot of patients are so scared. They really are. So they read those reviews. So then they know, hey, these people really love Judy. Why didn't I call and see if I can get in with her? So we put a lot of encouragement on that. And then Beth makes them circle 3 patients on their schedule to ask for reviews. A minimum is you have to ask 3 a day. That's where we set our targets because we know if everyone's asking 3 a day, we're going to at least get a few. Yeah. So then they go through.
And then how do you keep track of which ones have already been asked for a review? What do you do for your software and all that?
Yeah. So in our practice management software, there's something called a pop-up. So we're able to, when you click on that patient's appointment, like important notes or little things will pop up before you can actually go into their chart. So we put a pop-up saying patient left a Google review. So that way we're not constantly, but some people, if they say that they had an amazing experience and we know that they've written a review in the past, but they only had a cleaning, now this is their first work, we ask them if they're willing to update the review.
Great.
Or add a picture.
Good. And then let's talk about the process a little bit now. So you said very important is while they're in the chair, and let's pretend I just had my appointment, and then let's just carry it all out. Like, let's role play this a bit. Drill.
Okay. All right. So Dan, how was your appointment with Dr. Rich today?
Rough.
Yeah. But you made it through. You're a trooper.
I made it through. Listen, you guys did a great job. It's just the second I walk into this place, any dentist, I start sweating. It's like, and I start like, you guys have worked out how to keep me calm and chill me out. There was no pain. I didn't feel any needle. I mean, I don't know how you do that, but even just the sound of that drill.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I understand that. And you know what? We actually hear that all the time. And there's so many people that are in the same position as you. So I actually have a question. So I know that you dealt with some dental anxiety and things like that. And because there's so many people just like you, would you mind sharing your experience on Google to try and help some of those people maybe feel more comfortable coming to the dentist?
Oh yeah, no, I think anybody who's got dental anxiety should come here. You guys do so well to manage it. I'm just a little bit shy on time, so.
That's okay. I actually can make it super quick and easy for you. So I have this paper right here.
Okay.
This is your book. It has a QR code. So do you mind just opening your camera on your phone real quick?
Yep, done.
All right, so you're going to scan it. And I know you said you're short on time. So if you scan that, I'll give you 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if you can finish in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, 5 stars because you guys are awesome.
One of the fastest people.
Can I just use my?
My goodness, look at you.
All right, I'm just gonna use my dictation here. Really enjoyed my appointment here. These guys have made it very easy for me to come back to the dentist. period. I love this team more than any other dentist I've ever been to, period. They know how to mitigate pain, and I didn't feel a drill or needle the entire appointment, period. These guys have my trust, period. As long as I'm in this area, this is going to be my dentist for life, period. I highly recommend them, period. Good. Just press
Amazing.
submit, or do you want?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, you
it
just
says,
hit submit.
It says take a photo.
Oh yeah, you want to
Should I
take a
take a
selfie
photo?
with me? We'll show off
Yeah.
your new teeth.
Yeah.
Let's take a selfie.
Yeah. Okay. Good. There we go. Good. All right. Done. Submitted.
Perfect. Yeah, there we go. And now you want to know what else is cool? Now you were actually entered into our drawing. So Dr. Rich might have to buy you AirPods.
Ooh, I like that.
I
That's
know, right?
awesome. Well, listen, I would have done it without that. I mean, I really appreciate you guys, but yeah, that was quick and easy. And yeah, put my name in for those AirPods.
Perfect.
I'm
Yeah, I
down
think you
for
set
an
a
upgrade.
review record. Let's get you out of here so you can get to work.
Yeah, good. Boom, just like that. Just like that. Folks, thumbs up if you follow that process. Thumbs up if you follow that process. Now, it's very important that you see now, Dr. Gyasi, you're a client of Blumberg Digital. So I think that we're going to send you a guide. If you've got reviews being held up and they're going into like review purgatory, we have a whole process to where we can help you see if we get those released. So your account manager at Blumberg Digital can give you that. We've got a whole guide of how to get those released from Google. But folks, what they're doing here is so important, and they make it look easy, and it is now, but it wasn't always. They've role played, they drill with their team. Kathleen and Beth, can you guys talk about how you do that and how you get the team excited? And when things are a little bit slow, what do you do to kind of wake the team up and not make it like you must get reviews now and I'm going to crash you? You keep it up tone, right? You do all sorts of things. Can you talk on that?
Yeah, so we actually are closed on Thursdays. So some Thursdays we use it for training. So we did spend a couple Thursdays just kind of role playing how to ask for reviews, making the QR codes. And then we also played larger games. So, we got 20 reviews, I think, in 2 weeks. So we bought everyone dinner and we hand painted arches that Dr. Rich 3D printed for the team.
We even made Dan participate in that.
Yeah. So really just, getting
Lovely.
them excited and, playing that bigger game.
And we do like incentive mystery bags. Actually, Beth has some over here. Okay. So we get these bags and we line them up in our team room. So they stare at them all the time. And it's been like concert tickets. This one's like a cooking set. We've done like necklaces that they really like. We've done a bunch of different things. A bunch of our girls have won.
Well, like
a little bit of everything.
Yeah, 4 girls go to a concert together.
So they know, like, they stare at these prizes all the time. They're like, what's in the little one? What's in the big one? What do I want? So they compete against each other because then some of them decide they both like the same bag. So it's like whoever gets it first gets it first. So we make it like a fun
Beautiful.
competition.
I love it.
Bunch of girls.
I love it.
You have
Good.
to
We
cater
have
to your
Christina
audience.
Wynn.
They love concerts. They love kitchen gadgets and they love coffee. So
Yeah.
Right. And that's for your team. Those are the prizes for your team for their accomplishments. So there's 2 forms of prizes. And Christina Wynn said here, we did a raffle before, but stopped in fear that we were doing something out of guideline. We did another game this week where every Google review left, we will donate $10 to a local school for supplies. I love those. A game that's incentivizing an individual. If you put them in a raffle drawing, just so you know, the only place that's a problem is in Canada. Sometimes California can get a little bit weird about it. I would never, ever say, hey, listen, leave us a review and we give you a $5 gift card to Starbucks. That is outright buying a review. I think it's tacky, even though it's not illegal in 49 of the 50 United States. It's definitely illegal in Canada and California. But I just find that cheesy. I don't like that. I don't think that's right. But having somebody look at how Kathleen asked me for a review. Hey, a lot of people are in that same boat, Dan, or, hey, you happy with it? Great. Well, listen, people today, they want to hear from a person instead of a business about a business. Somebody who's actually been to that business, in our case, another patient. Would you mind taking 2 minutes to share your same kind thoughts about us in an online review? Oh, great. Yeah. And then, hey, and by the way, we enter you in a little raffle. Not that that's why you did it, but, good luck and hope you win. Thank you for the review. It means a lot to our patients. Doesn't just mean a lot to you. It means a lot to your patients, your prospective patients. So another question came in. How do you know if Google reviews are in purgatory because some of the reviews did not go through? Well, you've seen people leave reviews and they're not showing up. Sometimes it needs a day, 2, sometimes even 3 days to show up. But if they're not showing up, or if you know that you got 10 reviews, but only 3 registered at the end of the week, or you got 5, and then now all of a sudden it looks like you got net 3, you know that you got 5, but then you lost a couple. Reach out to your Blumberg Digital account manager and we'll get you sorted out on that. Let's see, any other points or questions? Any other points or questions for Beth and Kathleen? Let's everybody give a hand to Beth and Kathleen for these guys. Love you too, and thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your experience.
I did want to share one thing.
Any other points? Yeah, please.
After we had our call with you this morning, I went right into a consult and I closed 35,000. So thank you. I appreciate your
nice job this morning. Good. And just so you know what that is, every now and again, when these are clients of Blumberg Digital and they're on literally every service we have. So, I might jump on the horn with one of our clients, but just so you know, when I come on a call with you, it might not be pleasant. Listen, it always comes with love and ARC. I want you all to do really well. And fortunately, we didn't have to do slapping around this morning. You guys are just awesome. But I did bring a little bit of a slap to everybody on this meeting in that I want you to have a new patient coordinator. I want you to have someone who is in charge of, take a look at how Beth and Kathleen have oriented things. In the morning, Beth is responsible for the number of Google reviews. She's keeping that stat. She's making people accountable to it through the day. They're keeping it fun. They're keeping it uptone, right? They're playing games. They're being insouciant and flippant, right? Not being too serious about things. But at the same time, man, it's business. They're all over it. Thumbs up if y'all understand it. There's a little bit of a slap in there, but it's with a lot of ARC. It's a lot of affinity, reality, and communication. All right, folks. So we are at the end of the 1.5 hours. I don't know if anybody's got any last questions. Good. Well, I really enjoyed seeing every one of you here. Thank you for participating. The content we created today is a little bit of a preview of what's to come in the next few months. Blumberg Digital has been taking it very, very seriously to make sure that your expansion is guaranteed from a marketing perspective and beyond. So with that, thank you all. I look forward to seeing you in the next webinar. Bye for now. And let us know if you need any help. Our team is here to make sure that you're doing your best. Thanks very much. We'll see you in the next one.